This episode of Tea with Jules is proudly brought to you by The Home. You can shop any of the items you see in this episode at thehome.com.au. Sarah Harris, Studio 10 extraordinaire, Logie nominee.
Oh.
Welcome to Tea with Jules.
Oh, it's nice to be on your couch.
I know, this is so weird. Yeah. I've been on Studio 10 a few times as a panellist.
You have?
Guest panellist, which makes me feel so nauseous with nerves.
Why? You're so good at it.
No, but I feel very intimidated by the panel.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Not personally, but just like you guys are so knowledgeable in current affairs and things. I'm more pop culture. You know?
No, I think you always bring something to our panel when you're on our show.
Oh,
and
nice.
I was just saying to you earlier as well, you've got such a beautiful energy and that's nice.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, it's not about me today. This is all about you.
Okay.
And I'm so happy to have you. And firstly, honestly, congratulations on the nomination for a Logie. That's amazing.
It's pretty full on and very, very humbling and overwhelming. And I'm so grateful to the wonderful people who voted, not just for me, but for Studio 10.
Mm-hmm.
And because we have a really loyal bunch of viewers. They're fantastic. They are so invested in our show. And I really felt that as well when I was pregnant. And people sent me knitted booties and toys.
Sweet.
And I had this beautiful, one of our regular audience members, she doesn't have a lot of money. She's a pensioner from the Central Coast. And she gave me $5 for Paul's first birthday. And I said, I can't take this. And she's like, no. Honestly, I've budgeted for the week. I want you to put that in his piggy bank. And, that's a massive amount for her, And I thought it was so kind and it almost brought me to tears because people are so full of love for the show and that makes us feel pretty special and pretty lucky.
Yeah, cool. And Denise Drysdale's joined the panel. So her and Ida are job sharing, right?
Yeah.
Which is so cool.
Well, you kind of get best of both worlds, and they're vastly different women. They're both top chicks, top birds, I like to call them. But, you have Ida, who is, a media icon in her own right. She's always incredibly well researched. She's incredibly polished. She has such a sharp mind. She's so fiercely intelligent. She's got a great sense of humour as well.
And her delivery.
Oh,
when she speaks, you're like hanging on every word.
She's 75 and she has the stamina of a 35-year-old.
Yeah.
She is unbelievable. She puts all of us to shame. And then you've got Denise, who is this, she's this hilarious gem of a woman who's got the biggest heart. She's like everyone's mum.
Yeah.
Like she's. And she'll say this herself, she's just a bit daggy, but she's real and she's down to earth and she's like the mother hen of the show.
And she says what everyone's thinking.
Yes. Yeah. And, she is actually hilarious. So to have these two women on a panel and to be able to learn from them is pretty remarkable,
And it's cool that you're the captain of the ship.
I just try to steer it into the right places every now and then. And it can get a bit like herding cats sometimes because
reining them in.
Oh, well, yeah, everyone's got something to say because everyone on the show is very passionate and loves coming to work and wants to have an opinion on something. But I tell you what, I have a little earpiece in my ear which is telling me to move on or steer the show in a certain direction and by the end of it I just want to rip that earpiece because we're sticking to times and all that sort of stuff. But look, by and large, it's it's a pretty fun show to navigate and there aren't too many times that we enter choppy waters, that's for sure.
Now, hold on, we haven't even talked about tea yet, which is the most important thing today,
yes.
Sarah. You told me before you're not a tea drinker.
Oh, look, I like my tea from Long Island. No, I'm more of a...
I get it.
Iced tea. Look, I'm more of a coffee drinker, but this is a peppermint tea?
Yes,
it is refreshing, isn't it?
It's good. Peppermint is
Yeah.
good. It's always good. Now, Sarah, you have an amazing story of how you've become this amazing, awesome human that you are today. Can you share that a bit with me today and take me back into the past?
Right back to the beginning?
Just take me back to the beginning. Tell me how this all began.
Well, look, I I moved around a bit as a kid, but I was born in Western Sydney, and I was raised by a single mother.
Wow.
Who did her absolute best to make sure, we had the best start to life. But I tell you, I have a whole newfound respect for what my mother did now that I have a child.
Right. Because how many siblings?
Two. So that's my brother and me, being raised by her. And she had me a week after her 18th birthday.
Wow.
I couldn't even keep a pot plant alive at the age of 30. I had my first child at 34. So, so she had me and my brother when she was pretty young and did the job on her own, which is just remarkable. And despite her youth, she was very much very encouraging of me to pursue my goals, pursue my dreams, never let a man tell you can't do anything. She really did give me my first taste of feminism.
Wow.
And from there we kind of lived in housing commission houses in Western Sydney before moving to Queensland when I was 7, where we still lived in housing commission houses and caravan parks for a while there. Like it was very, very difficult for my mum to keep it all together.
I cannot imagine, like you said, being a mother is hard enough.
So hard. So
far
hard.
less struggling with paying the bills, finding a home to live in.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it.
Well,
I cannot.
And this is the thing, like when you're at that level and of, I guess it's poverty, you've got to make big decisions, Do you use your money to pay the rent or put food on the table? These are the decisions that are made every day, not, do I get my hair done or buy a new pair of shoes? These are luxuries that we all have now. And I don't know, I think for me it was a driving force to make me want to succeed and to push myself and to make my mum proud. So I certainly don't begrudge where I came from. In fact, I think it was the best thing that ever happened to me. And I'm so grateful for that upbringing because, it might be easier to be born into a world of privilege, but, it's, I don't think you learn anything from it.
So you grew up in housing commissions, you moved to Queensland when you were...
7.
Oh, 7.
And so I went to school in Queensland, and it was so strange because I'd always wanted to be a writer, but maybe, a playwright or something like that, or a lawyer, which is completely random, so different. And I had these fantastic English teachers, and they, for my grade 11 work experience week, they placed me at Channel 7. And I wasn't really excited about it. I was like, no, it's not really what I want to do. I wanted to go to a theatre or something and do some work there.
Did they do that because they saw something in you?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, it was completely out of my hands. And it was this kind of sliding doors moment because I got there and I just fell in love with telly. They actually tried to, on my first day at Channel 7, they put me down in the mail room, and it was really close to Christmas, and they said, so see these 5,000 Christmas cards, they need to go into these 5,000 envelopes. And they thought, she'll be down there for the week. I got them done all on the first day. Yes. I was like, what else have you got for me? And they're like, oh, God, okay, we'll give us something else to do.
Everyone starts in the mailroom.
Yeah. Which is where you should. Which is where you should, And I feel very grateful that I got to start at the bottom. I, from there, ended up going to the newsroom and spending the rest of the week there. And, I was very fortunate then to land a casual job with Channel 7 on weekends where I'd record the news and make coffee for people and, pretty basic stuff. And then from there I moved my way up to a researcher, finally on-air journalist. So I kind of took the long way, but I'm really glad I did because you see that a television station is there are many cogs in that wheel, and if one person doesn't do their job properly, everything falls over. And I think there can be sometimes egos in television, where perhaps on-air people think they're better than other people. Well, you're not going to look good if your cameraman doesn't do the job. You're not going to sound good if the audio guy doesn't do their job, or the makeup artist, or the writer, or all the 1,000 people that are involved in getting you to air and making you look good. It's a huge team behind you, and you've got to be grateful for each and every one of them.
Television is brutal, the industry. It's very hard to make it, especially in like a news kind of journalistic arena.
Yeah.
Because there's limited spaces. There's a handful of people that do the news or are on a panel or on a show like Studio 10 where, it sort of runs for years and years and years and it's the same panel. So it's really hard to break into that industry.
Yeah.
So do you think there's ways around it if you don't start where you started?
Do you know, I was lucky enough to get my weekend recording job, which was paying $12 an hour back in 1997, which was excellent money for a 16-year-old, especially since I was making something like $7 at Macca's at the time.
Oh, I was making $5.25 at Macca's.
Oh, were you a drive-through
Adelaide.
chick?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I got taken off drive-through after I dropped a whole tray of Cokes on a customer one day. I wasn't very good at it. But what was I saying? I did a lot of free work though.
Yes.
And, I put in a lot of hours, that, I wasn't paid for. I think it's a bit of luck meets hard work. I'd go in on my days off and, help people out, help out other journos, get them to show me, how to structure a story. I was always interested, ready to learn, ready to take criticism on how I could change things. Even now, I say to Denise and Ida, did that work okay? Or, I think you've got to be open to improving yourself and taking advice on board. So I think that's the kind of way to, it's one thing to get your foot in the door, but, that will only get you so far.
Yeah, you've got to prove it.
You really do. And then it's just a matter of, being in the right place at the right time.
Is there a story that really has stuck with you that you reported on or that you were a part of?
Do you know, I think what sticks with me is, I went through a phase when I was at 9, of just doing natural disaster stories, one after the other.
Right.
It was a really horrible time. And I'm not saying that as, poor me, I'm a journalist going to these areas, because nothing can compare to the absolute devastation that these communities are feeling. And I tell you what, we were so lucky, for example, after Black Saturday bushfires in Victoria, to be able to go home to our beds and our homes and have a shower, because these people lost everything. But it was pretty full on. Like, we went from floods to fires to an earthquake in Christchurch to a cyclone, and that really stuck with me. Not just the fact that they were heavy stories one after another, but what really got me was how positive people were in the face of these crises.
Yeah.
And it made you, and I'm saying grateful a lot today, because I think it's something that we all need to be conscious of, and we need to do a lot more of, being grateful. And I just, your problems pale in comparison when you're talking to someone who's lost their home or family members, and they're doing their best to help their neighbour next door, or they're just grateful that they have their own lives. That sort of stuff stuck with me. That triumph of the human spirit, if you will. That's something that stays with me. We're lucky. We're lucky in this moment, and that's all you can think. In this very moment, we're lucky.
Yeah. I love it. That's what makes you good at this.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it is. You're a normal human being that has those feelings, and it's genuine and authentic.
Well, yeah.
I love it.
Oh, thank you. Well, you change. The stuff I used to get so worked up about, now I don't know. Is it motherhood that
I
mellows
reckon
you?
it is. I reckon it is.
Yeah,
Because your focus is so different. You're not, like I know that after today I've got to go home and make sure my two babies are fed and watered and gone to bed, and Hudson's a little bit unwell. So there's all of those things, and then my husband has a gig tonight that I have to get to. Or who's going to take care of the children? Those things are going through my mind. Not okay. After this, I'll probably go and get a massage, and I'll relax and I'll watch my show, and whatever it is. It's so different.
Well,
your focus.
Someone said to me that before kids was like black and white, and then after kids is like Technicolor.
Yes.
And I've got to say that is so true. And it's for me after having Paul, you just kind of realise the fragility of life as well, don't you? And how lucky we all are to be here.
Yeah.
I think as well, growing up in TV, starting in the industry when I was 16, my weight was always, a source of
mind.
It was, and a source of concern for me. And, I felt like, seeing a number on the scales, if it was smaller, I felt better about myself. And it just completely having a child, and I definitely want more, but having Paul completely changed my perspective on my body and what it's for, and how clever you are that you can feed this child and grow a human. So that was a nice sense of perspective as well.
Yeah. How do you feel about body image now, like this day?
Good. I mean, my body's different now. Like there are jiggly bits and flat bits now and cellulite bits, and but I don't look at it with disdain. I don't look at it and think ugh. I look at it kind of as a badge of honour now. And my days of wearing a bikini are absolutely gone.
Thank God the one piece came in.
I know, right? Yeah. But I'm just, God, who cares? I get to look at this beautiful little face that is my son every day. And, that's definitely worth a bikini. It's just important that I'm fit enough and strong enough to run after my crazy toddler who is actually insane. Yeah. And make sure that I'm quick enough that when he climbs up on the dining room table that he doesn't fall and I can grab him and things like that. Yep. That's kind of where my focus lies.
Yeah, where
now.
your fitness lies now.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
And you're married to Tom.
Yes.
And you guys have been married for how long?
3 years, I think. 2000. Yeah, 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. So.
What's your love story? How did this all come about?
We met at a bar.
Love it.
I know. I'd been in Sydney for about 6 months, and he strode over towards me at the bar and dropped some funny line, which I immediately was hooked by, and he was just perfect. He called when he said he was going to call, and he was just lovely. He had bright red hair, which I didn't realise until the first day because it was dark in the bar. Right. And he's very tall. He's like 6'6", and he's very what's the word? Bombastic. He's got a very big personality, which is very funny because he's very media shy, and doesn't want to be involved in the whole media thing. But he's got this big personality.
Yeah, right.
No, he just doesn't. He just doesn't want to be involved. And I think just because I don't know, he's very private. He's the life of the party, though. He is. He's definitely the more fun one of us, and he's great. He's great, and he'll be a wonderful role model as a man for Paul.
Yeah, which is so important.
Which is so good.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
It's good when you like who you're married to.
It helps, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Otherwise, we could go on Real Housewives of Sydney.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that insane? But this is what I love about
watch
Tom
it.
as well. It's his favourite show.
What?
I know. He's such a girl in so many ways.
I love it.
The very first episode, he goes, I think we found our new favourite show. That's what I love about him as well. He's serious, but he can be very silly and fun. And, he makes me happy.
Oh, I want to have him over for a cup of tea.
Yeah.
How have you found now this is the $1 million question that I'm sure everyone asks, the balance, work life, being a mum, going back to work, how do you do it?
Look, it is a juggle. It is a juggle. But, you know, it's a case of head down. I tell you what I'm not good at is socialising and doing kind of the fun stuff. I basically just work, come home and become a hermit and hang out with my 2 boys. That's it, with my husband and my son, you know.
And I think if you love and care, like you obviously passionately love your child and your family, I think overall, at the end of the day, that's what matters the most to humans, is being loved and cared for, and knowing that even though you go to work, Paul knows that you are obsessed with him and love him and will do anything for him, even if that means not going to work. You know, like, that's the overarching thing. I think
I know.
we need to tell ourselves that. I wanted to ask you a few kind of, you know, random-y questions, but, you know, things that I think are interesting.
Yeah.
On the home, what's your favourite room in your house?
Oh, it'd have to be our bedroom.
Yeah.
We have...
Because you get to sleep.
Get to sleep. We've got we're naughty. We have a big, huge television in our room.
Same.
Because I get up early and I have to watch all the late newses and stuff. It's just good to do it in bed.
Yeah.
I know it's not very good bedroom hygiene, but what do you do? And we've got Paul's toys in our room as well. So like on a Saturday, if he's up at 5, we just bring him in, like put him on the ground and
Does
have
he
a little
do
snooze.
that?
Yeah, loves it. ABC Kids.
Oh, wow.
Loves
Amazing.
it. I know. And it's funny, like everyone was, before we first had him, we're like, he's not watching television until he's, 5 and he's only going to watch, French cartoons. Please. Sit in there, you'll be right.
Only organic and everything healthy. Yeah. Goes
But
out the window.
That's what I love about our room, though. It's like it's this big, soft, comfy bed that we can all snuggle into, and we look out over a park. So, and we hear the birds in the morning, and it's a very tranquil, airy, beautiful room.
That's nice.
Yeah. And I love sleeping as well, which you don't get to do much of when you're a mum.
No. I haven't slept in about 5 years. So it's really hard.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, do you have a spiritual practice? You're a spiritual person?
Do you know, it's funny, I'm married to a very devout Catholic.
Okay.
I was christened Catholic and semi-raised Catholic. I didn't go to a Catholic school or anything like that, but my faith has wavered and changed over the years, but recently we've started Tom goes to Mass every Sunday, and we take Paul to Mass now, which is a nice, I suppose, family check-in time, I don't know as much about Catholicism as my husband does. He just knows it inside out. He went to a private Catholic school, but I like the sense of community of going to church, and I really enjoy the homilies, and I kind of like seeing people gathered together on a Sunday just to quietly give a nod to their God and recalibrate for the week. My husband went to a Jesuit school, and their motto is a man for others, and he would like Paul to go to a Catholic Jesuit school as well, and I actually quite like that messaging, a man for others. I think he should choose what he wants to believe, but I think that sort of motto is putting you on a good path and giving you a good start to life if you can think about other people and making your community and making your space and your world a better place.
Yeah.
Who's to argue with that?
I love it.
Yeah.
I totally believe that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sarah, on that really positive note, on the big stuff, I'm going to say thank you so much for joining me on the couch. I just feel like I could talk to you all
years.
day.
I know, it's been fantastic. Could spend all day here.
I know, thanks for coming.
Oh, sorry, once you get me started.
No, it's good. I feel like you're just like the rest of us. Just doing the being a mum, working it out, being nominated for Logies, just normal things like that.
Oh, well, I feel very lucky to be on the couch with you.
Oh, well, cheers to that, and
cheers.
Good luck.
Thank you, love.
For your award. Even if you don't get it, you're still a winner to me.